level 10 to 200, you can do anything you want and you will get levels. So let's talk about how you'll mainly be leveling from now on. The portal. The portal is broken down into a few subsections: Solo, Fireteam, Pinnacle, and Crucible, and all have their own activities within. Solo will take away, as enhancement cores do, dismantling gear, the seasonal hub reward track, things like that. The main difference, besides their icon, is that unstable cores are reset every expansion, so you can't just hoard a giant stockpile of cores anymore. In addition, every expansion will reset everyone back to level 200. If you didn't hit 200, then you're not going to be adjusted. Early on in an expansion, unstable cores might be a bit more rare to get, but even this early on, just from collecting stuff from the season pass and the seasonal hub, I have had a good jump start on cores, and I don't think it'll present a huge problem, like economically speaking. Not only that, but once you hit 200, or once you unlock higher difficulties in the portal, getting those A ranks will get a little more difficult because the modifiers change up, the positive ones take score away from you, but the game plan is still the same. Ideally, you are making the activity as hard as you are capable of completing or willing to play, while trying to maximize rewards and minimize negative effects on yourself. For example, I just hit 200 power. I'm loading up a solo ops, and I'm checking to see which negative modifiers affect me the least, but give the most amount of score. Right now, that is the locked loadout modifier, which for a solo ops activity is basically irrelevant because I'm not going to swap anything. It's also giving an insane amount of bonus multiplier, to the point where it's the only thing I need to do to hit an estimated A rank. I do anticipate Bungie making locked loadouts not worth as much multiplier going into the future, but it's just one example of trying to minimize the negatives while maximizing your points. Something that might seem confusing when you start hitting these new level thresholds is an issue I ran into recently. I just unlocked Expert difficulty. However, both Advanced and Expert, when I set a specific activity to estimate the A rank score, offer similar rewards. And indeed, they gave those rewards. So for the purposes of efficient leveling, go with the easier option. There is no reason to run an Expert solo ops when it's going to take me 10 minutes longer to complete it versus the advanced version if my ultimate goal is to just get levels. Eventually, the scales should tip into Expert's favor in terms of it being a better option to run. But until then, run the thing that's going to get you your items the fastest and or the easiest. The mid-season cap on levels is 450. So if you manage to hit 450 before then, you gotta wait until the mid-season update. That being said, it appears that hitting 450 by the mid-season update is a task for only the most hardcore of players who dedicate dozens of hours per week playing the game. Not only that, but once you hit level 400, how quickly you level will slow down a bit. Therefore, I don't think the primary goal of a new Destiny release should necessarily be get max level, like it used to be because it used to be a lot easier, but rather get as high of a level as you are willing to go get. Do not feel pressured to try to hit 550 in a season. At its core, that is how leveling now works in the game. If I'm to sum it up, how to level is you run stuff in the portal, increase your difficulty, and you will get levels over time. Now, let's talk about tiered loot, since I imagine the question you might be asking is, what is the point of leveling? As you level up, the tier of the loot that you will have access to will increase. Loot has been split into 5 tiers now, with 1 being the lowest, tier 5 is the highest, and only really available at the end game difficulties and end game power levels. For armor, as you increase in tiers, you will get more stats on said gear. A tier 1 item might only have like 55 of a stat, but a tier 3 will have mid to high 60s. So as you increase in level, you will gain more access to more stats, which makes you more powerful. For weapons, as you increase in tiers, you will get more enhanced traits.
Alright, I normally make these title videos on how to get triumphs.
missiles just ran outside. Archon's not bluffing. Can't get close to whatever the hell that is. I'm taking too much fire.
No. This is how it happens, isn't it?
I don't need to breathe. Ikora, why don't I need to breathe? Am I dying?
Hold on, Louis. We're almost there.
My chisel is sharp. The message is clear. I understand what was forgotten. 3 is dead.
The 9 that invited us here is dead?
I'm so sorry. It was like a block in my mind. The 9 wouldn't let me remember until now.
They brought us here to tell us something. They rearranged our entire lives. For what?
There has to be a reason. What type of message are we supposed to hear from the dead?
The end of endings has been revealed. See how the blood of the giver feeds the singularity.
They're using 3's body to widen the black hole. They made the singularity. We need to hurry before we're overtaken.
Train the giver. Devour its flesh beyond flesh, my exiles. Coast the infinite. And you, Deathless, I will cut you down long before the singularity grows large enough to swallow you!
The Archon is the only thing between us and the answers we deserve. Bury him, Guardian.
Guardian down.
The grand design speaks of the end, dear ones. All of this is as foretold. Please ride prepared while we readied our bodies and conglomerated our minds.
Inside that thing. It appears to be drawing power from the catch above. We'll need to power it down to get him out. Guardian, let's get to that catch. Did I not foretell of a ruinous villain? The grand design promises victory in the face of our greatest foe. shining from the catch. That should get the Archon out into the open.
Kepler will rend into infinity as exiles return, riding the miracles of the Event Horizon home. Fated to blade when the shadow of the killer's carcass has your fated to die. Feast right for my people.
Guardian down.
How could you take this from me? May you rend and burn for an eternity. In the Singularity's embrace.
I just had the craziest idea I've ever had in my life. What if we can wake it up? What if that's what the hall is for? Play the game. I spent years filling it with energy. The hall knows what it was made for.
3 intervened, so Drifter would bring the means to revive them. Brought Lodi to give them a voice. Summoned the weapon and myself, so we would hear their message.
I don't want to see 3 again. You were brought here to raise the dead. Bring them to life. They'll close the tear, wake them, and listen.
Orin, wait. This call is different than the others? What happens to me if they're dead?
I guess you'll find out.
Guess so. Whatever you see, don't worry about me. I was made for this. Line's open, weapon.
On your signal, hero.
You got us here, Guardian. Now get us the answers we deserve.
and invisibility. So a quick little
all Callus pieces locations for the I forgot the name of this gun. Graviton Spike. You can check, and there's the first two, which is going to be Subsidence and Rapid Hit. Rapid Hit and Subsidence. These can be found in the World Tier Fables. You don't have to be in Mythic to find those two pieces, or those 6 pieces for the Catalysts. It is tied to this World Tier. If you join Mythic, you can still see those ones, but then the other 2 is also available as well. But I truly recommend using Fabled if you have the power to do it. And then once we do the other Catalyst pieces, you gotta go Mythic, and I recommend to be at least 150 or 170 or 180 to finish the rest, basically. And so there's that. So let's go ahead and start off with the very first one for Rapid Hits here. And everything. Now, I didn't want to make it too confusing of how it's set up for this video, because technically we could just do per area. Here is 2, here is 3 of them in this one area. But since it's a mix between need to be Fabled World Tier or Mythic World Tier, I think it'd be a bit confusing. Understand, so we'll just do one at a time, but you can just skip through the video. Everything should be timestamped. Each one will be timestamped. One and the 2. There's no actual. You can pick up the 3rd one and every number 1. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It's just the order we find them now. It's just an easier way to find them for the most part. So we're gonna head over inside the train here to the stacks. Now, not every single one of them is gonna show a flower. I'll try my best to find footage of it when we did stream it earlier in the day today, or before this, after this video, before sort of doing this. But so all the way. there's no actual order. You can pick up the third one and be number 1. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It's just the order we find them now. It's just the easier way to find them for the most part. So we're gonna head over inside the train here to the stacks. Now, not every single one of them is going to is going to be in stacks. So this is a long walk. I could just skip over there, head to the entrance over there. Now, I didn't make it too confusing of how it's set up for this video. So instead of putting each per area, here's 2, here's 3 of them in this one area. But since it's a mix between either be Fabled World Tier or Mythic World Tier, I think it'd be a bit confusing. Understand, so we'll just do one at a time, but you can skip through the video. Everything should be timestamped. Each one will be timestamped, so if you want number 1, number 2, there's no actual order. You can pick up the third one and be number 1. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It's just the order we find them now. It's just the easier way to find them for the most part. So we're gonna head over inside to the stacks. Now, not every single one of them is gonna show a flower. I'll try to put some footage of it when we did stream it earlier in the day today, or before this, after this video, before we start doing this, but, so we'll see how that moves. Alright, so heading to the right side, all the way here. Before, but it'll be right over here. That's what we've done. So don't worry about it now. Vase to shoot up there, and then you're gonna head over here. This mesh tube is black tube looking thing, and then the thing to shoot up here as well, right? And then you should go overhead and it may not show up here, but it should be right over here. And pull it, you're done. So don't worry about it now. You're gonna head back. And you're going to go ahead and there should be a vase to shoot up there. And then you're going to head over here. This mesh tube is black tube looking thing. And then the thing to shoot. Inside of it, room of it, with it. And then you head back and you shoot the flower with your with the arc damage, and then you shoot the inside of it, the bloom of it with stasis by holding a reload, and then it should stop the fan. You interact with the panel over here, and then inside this area will have the piece for you. And that is number 1 on our list here. The next one is going to be all the way into Alder's Bethel. And it's going to be in this area over here. So let's go ahead and head over there real quick. Take the landing zone LZ over here. So we're going to go and head to the right. We're on the map. Down this path over here. And we're going to get to a sort of, not sort of portal, but you see that like fallen orange pipe, basically, which is going to be to the left here. Over here. And we're going to go and head over where we would talk to Ikora or mission on the left side. But we're going to go through the portal over here. Head inside here. We're now go into the tube, and we're in the correct area now. Now we're going to head over here. You should see the flower right over here. You shoot it. You would then this will slow down. There's things to shoot here. 1, 2, 3. You pick up the left one here. Come up. Talk to Ikora or the mission on the left side. Go to the portal over here. Head inside here. Brakes. Down this path over here. And we're gonna get to a sort of
Guardian, I have an incoming transmission. Patching it through.
I have the Ionian Dean here.
see that like
She sends her greetings.
fallen,
I'll relay your messages to her and translate what I can of her response. Whatever is in there is dangerous, but precious to them. It's been out of reach.
And we're gonna get to this part here. We're gonna see that like fallen orange pipe basically, which is going to be to the left here, over here, and we're gonna go and head over where we would talk to Ikora or the mission on the left side. And we're gonna go through the portal over here, head inside here. Front area now. Now we're gonna head over here. Right here. After you shoot it, you would then shoot down. When you shoot it, 1, 2, 3. Pick up the rocket launcher, relocate it, bring it all the way up. Up here. You should be able to shoot. All three. Maybe mess up. It's fine. Just go back outside and do it again. Now pick up the cannon behind you. You head back outside. You now jump up, basically, all the way up. And you should see now on the top left there. There should be a thing to shoot to open up the fallen barrier that's blocking your path, basically. I could have skipped this, but there we go. Just head up here. And you can see on the outside to the left, you can see it right there. Shoot that. Teleporter right there on the panel on the bottom over there. The relay or the teleporter portal. Get inside, and you can go ahead and pick up the second piece of rapid hit, or could be your third, could be your first one. Who knows? Anyways, there we go.